So we wanted to talk to you about some of the most common modifications for the toe spacers. So up first, for those of you that have bunions, when you put the toe spacer on, if you think that you need more width or a little more stiffness in between the first and second toe, we have cork available to insert into the toe spacer. So it's simply this slot right here. You're just going to cut a piece of the cork that we will send you. And then you simply take the cork and you slide it into this slot. So I wear this cork in mine, and then what it does, like I said, is it allows for a little more space between the first and second toes and a little more stiffness to the toe spacer. The second modification we wanted to talk to you about are for those of you who have hammer toes. Often the hammer toe, especially if it's more rigid, can be uncomfortable where the plastic is sitting between the toes. So what we can do there is we can cut a little space in between wherever the hammer toe is. You guys can see that. And then when you slide the toe spacer on, there will be room for that hammer toe and it won't be rubbing up against the material of the toe spacer. The third modification is for those whose pinky toe just really wants to veer out and stick out too much here, even in a smaller size. And all you do simply with that is you can take the toe spacer and you can cut off the pinky toe so that you would still have the space in between 1 through 4, you just would not have it in between 4 through 5. So that is certainly a modification that works for many people.
All right, and then a couple more here. So another thing that we have quite often,
There you go.
perfect, is that when you put the toe spacers on, they won't go quite deep enough for your foot type. So what we do with that is you can see that there is a little bit of a ledge here by the first and the fourth spacer. We can actually cut that so that the spacer can go on a little bit deeper and fit a little bit better into your toes. And then on the flip side of that is if you have toes with a little bit of a larger toe pad, like I happen to, then you can get pinching on the bottom side of the foot. So what you'll see is underneath the toes, you start to get some pinching where that scalloping is. That can also be trimmed down. So what we're gonna do for that is we're going to trim down where this V is to make that gap a little bit bigger without interfering with the actual spacers.
Just one more thing, when you're cutting, if you're trying to get the toe spacer to slide onto the toes better, that's important because one of the complaints we'll hear is that the toe spacers keep falling off when you're walking. Make sure when you cut that piece off that you don't cut into where the hole is. Just try to cut it so that that space is well maintained.